Anyhow, okay, here we go. All right,
Go.
ladies and gentlemen, we are here with a little firecracker, Cherie Stuhler. All right, she's with
Hi, guys.
Fight for Your Family, and she's going to talk about why it's important to get involved with the school boards and get involved with the committees in your local towns and stuff. So, all right, Cherie, let us have it.
All right. So, school board petitions to run for your school board. You have until Monday. It is a piece of cake. Call your local administration building. Say, hey, I want a school board packet. Go out, get 20 signatures. Go talk to all your neighbors, talk to your friends, kids, parents, whatever. All they have to do is live in your district. Piece of cake. You can't get a kid to sign it. They do have to be of voting age, unfortunately, and live in your district. Those are the only two stipulations. It is not that difficult. And it is important because if you're only hearing one side of the conversation, which is what is happening in the schools now, then there is no other voice of reason. There's no way to meet a middle ground. So it is important that others who care get in. The other side to that is if you look at your school boards, most of them are filled positions by other educators, superintendents or principals of neighboring districts. They only have one perspective. They need the other perspective. If you don't get in there and give that other perspective, then there's only one side of the coin. And that's with anything. It doesn't really matter. It's not a party thing. It's not, it's coming together for what's truly good on both sides of the coin in the best interest of these kids. So with that, it's been a long road of learning on the fly. So one of the things, if you do run for school board, I cannot stress this enough. Please read the bylaws of the school board. Please read the policies of your school board because every district is different. And if they tell you you can't have them, they're lying. Everything is by the policies and the bylaws. And if you don't know that, you can never affect change because they will call you out on violating those two things. And if you don't understand them, which is fine because they are difficult, find somebody who can help you to understand them because like the Constitution, they are not interpreted. What it says is literally what it means. Mm-hmm. And any bylaw or policy changing a period, a comma, changes the context of what it's saying. So it's very important that people understand that. That's not to intimidate. That's to say, here's a ball I'm going to throw you so that you are ahead of the learning curve. So this has been something that we have kind of feathered out and learned over the past few years. The other side to that is maybe you're not comfortable with running for school board, but you still want to be involved. Join your PTO. As much as people are against the PTO, again, it's that same principle. Get that other voice in there. Be heard.
Explain what that is, PTO.
The parent teacher or PTA, I'm sorry, not PTO, parent teacher association. Every school has it on some level, shape, or form. It doesn't matter what grade your child is in. So get involved and let them know, hey, I'm here and I'm not going away and I'm going to ask questions and I want to have a respectful dialogue. You hear me, I'll hear you. If you can't do any of that, at the bare minimum, start attending your school board meetings and take a different approach. Instead of going in only when you have exhausted everything else you could think of and now you're just stark raving mad, go in and start speaking, asking questions. Can you tell me what the purpose of this is? I'm not telling you they're going to answer you. Not saying that at all. But you're going to start to break down a narrative of who we are and what we think. That you want to have a conversation and you want to have a respectful conversation. So this is something that I've spoke at my school board. I've tried to not attack them, but to have my speeches be impactful and powerful and essentially asking, what is the purpose? And through that, I've been able to build a relationship with some of the school board people. So it's made a difference, and I've been able to learn things that I otherwise wouldn't have known. I never would have found out. So we went in one time and we read an excerpt from a book. And what never came back to us was that that book was removed. So there was a mistake made, a genuine mistake, where an author got a blanket approval. They didn't do their due diligence and didn't realize that this author had one genre of books and then another genre of books. So they got a blanket approval, and all of these books got put in the young adult section.
Oh, wow.
Very inappropriate books. Mm-hmm. But the Library Association just kind of said, here, we approve all of these books. So the librarian said, okay, great. We're going to order them all. There's no possible way one person can read every book in any library, whether it's your tiny little, 300 person school or it's your 1,000 person school. It's not happening. So there's these systems in place that are supposed to catch this. Mistakes are made. We read the excerpt from the book. This was uncovered and the book was removed. It wasn't a battle. It wasn't a fight. And I just found out. So, and we did this it's been almost a year now, but I just found out because I built that relationship. So I was able to get that information back. Like, great, you guys followed up and did your due diligence, but we don't normally know this. We go in, we see unanimous, I agree, everything gets passed, right? But we don't know what's happening behind the scenes, and we're not asking the right questions. And we're not building those relationships. So those things are extremely, extremely important.
You've been in the school system for so many years too, right?
17 years.
Wow.
So you know a lot of the ins and outs that's going on within the school system.
I do, but it's very different perspectives. So it's a interesting phenomenon that people don't understand. So when the school board is being paraded into a building, it's like they've sounded the red alarm. You've gotten 50,000 emails. They're paraded through the pretty sections. And the board doesn't know this. This is all done internally and quietly. And then the perception is given to the staff within the school. They're there to judge you because they ultimately vote on whether you're getting your tenure or not, right? So you have to do this dog and pony show. And that's really not what they're there for. They're there to say, is the superintendent doing the best job possible for our kids? Is there something we can improve upon? But because of the way the hierarchy is in the schools, because it is like that, no one knows the real workings of how it's supposed to be. And when you have that confusion and you don't know and there's no communication, you can't beat that. You can't win in a system like that because it's designed to make you fail. So the only way to win it is to ask these questions and to say, but it's actually kind of funny. And I had this conversation with a board member. I'm like, it's hysterical because we know when you're coming, we know exactly what rooms you're going to be paraded in. We know exactly where we're not allowed to go with our bad kids, right? And how long we have to maintain the duct tape per se on these bad kids. So you don't know, and talking to them and just saying, hey, did you know this classroom that was approved by you guys in this budget to be redone? You can't open the windows in it. You're not allowed to open the classroom door because it's alarmed. There's no AC, by the way.
No.
What happened to circulation, right? And these are brand new rooms. And these are things that your board members really don't know. And without building that relationship, you would never know because they're supposed to be the end all be all, right?
Yeah.
And that's not really it. So it's difficult. And as you get these school people in there that are running these boards, they're obviously going to protect the system. So, it's wrong that the union is endorsing any school board candidate. You have to step back and say this is a public school system that should be run by the public which is the community of that town, where these people are paying taxes to send their children there, to give them an education. Those should be the people on your board.
Mhm.
It shouldn't be an announced visit. The board should be able to walk in whenever. And even those that do, the minute anyone finds out that that's a school board person, everything changes.
Changes,
It's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
the silent alarm is triggered in the building, and the whole demeanor and how they're talked to and everything. But it's not about the actual staff person in there. It's about the bigger dynamic, because that's the superintendent's job, and the board is to keep the superintendent in check.
So why is it important for people to get involved with the school board as far as like the curriculum, what they're teaching, what books are being put out there?
So it's that checks and balancing. So if you can get on the school board and you can be open to hearing the good, the bad, and the ugly without taking it personally, and having these conversations, and you're willing to investigate it and find something like what I said of, maybe that book was a simple mistake.
Mhm.
People, we're human, right? We make mistakes. We're overworked. We're tired. Things happen.
Mhm.
But if you can go in and say, I need to look into that, and be willing to deal with the consequences of owning, hey, there was a mistake made. We found it. We're sorry. We've taken care of it, right? Or saying, I'm sorry, we just don't agree with you on this because this is what we've come to. But it's also not one person. There is, 5 to 9 other people that you are trying to come into an agreement with.
Right.
So you have to work to find that common ground too. But building that relationship is the first step in doing that.
Mhm.
All right. So due to time constraints, let's get on to like why it's important to be in a committee in a town.
Okay. So your local town committee, people don't understand, has a ton of power. So if you join your local town committee, and we just did petition passing for that, which every 2 years in my county, Monroe County, is when we pass petitions. And then you are an elected official. It is the lowest level of elected official that you can get, right? You're not getting paid. You're
Mhm.
not getting any of that. But what comes with that is, depending on what your election district is, which is a mini tiny microcosm in your town, and how many people you represent, you're getting what's called a weighted vote. So when you walk in, you think you have 1 vote, but really you may have 100 votes. That 100 votes goes to say who that party is going to endorse on the ballot. Who are they backing on the ticket that the rest of the world or the rest of the county is going to vote on, or
Right.
your town, or whatever level it is. With that, you also get a vote in who your county chairman is. And that vote is not 1 vote. That's your weighted vote. You are representing an election district. So you go out, you get your signatures, which honestly, most of it is like 15 signatures. It literally takes an hour. It's not hard. And then you go to a meeting once a month and you say, this is what my people feel. This is my community, right? Your job is to share that back. And the committee is supposed to rally together to address the issues. So, but for so many years, nobody has understood this position, and they've all just done whatever. The committee's job is not just to go get signatures for candidates when they're running. It's to find candidates. It's to vet candidates. It's to ensure that they're going to hold up our values and what we need in our community. And it's also to address whatever issues our community is having. And so you kind of filter that out into a group of people so that it's really a government run for the people, by the people.
People.
And we've forgotten that.
So like what it comes down to is, like, if you want real change going on, you'll have that voice, because it starts locally. If you want change, because if you see things that are not going right, you have that voice once you're a committee person.
Exactly. You do have that voice. And you might start as the only voice in the room, but eventually that will change.
Conversation, like you said, with the school board stuff.
Exactly. So when it swings both ways, I mean, I'm kind of the, town troublemaker, whatever.
Because you're all over the place. You're all over the place.
Not you.
Yeah, but you have to take an active role. If government is supposed to be for the people, by the people, then the people have to actively be involved. And it's hard and it takes some time. But most things, you go to a couple meetings here and there, you go to your town board meeting, whatever, you go talk to some neighbors, whatever. You can be involved that way and learn enough to be able to have a voice and say, but these are the people I'm talking to. This is what I'm hearing. This is what the town's doing on this side, right? Especially if you're one party and your town board maybe is a different party, right? You kind of get a feel for both sides and you can say, hey, how about this middle ground, right? So it's important, and it's important to keep that open mind and that open dialogue.
So let me ask you this. Instead of like, if somebody's not doing their job, say a town supervisor, nobody in the town agrees with him. Some of the board members don't agree with him. He still has 2 years to go before the election comes, and they want to get rid of him now. How is there a way to do that?
Well, there is a way, and that comes in with the bylaws and the policies of anything.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, there is a way. So if they're not doing what they were elected for, then obviously, yes, there's a way. And when you get enough people together saying, dude, we don't agree with you and you're wrong. And let's face it, we know the political climate. The goal is to never lose an election, right? They don't want to be replaced because it's a nice, cushy job.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to start to turn their ship the other way because the more people that are saying absolutely not, we're not going to tolerate it, they're going to change their behavior. Okay.
All right. I didn't know if they just had to be voted out after 2 years. If we had to, like we're having issues with the neighboring town where I live. The town supervisor's not doing his job at all. I mean, he's not doing what the community wants him to do or is asking him to do. He's actually worried about money over people's health. And we're trying to find ways to get rid of him because we don't want it to go another 2 years. It's a shame is what it is.
So you have to find those violations.
Find the bylaws first, right?
Yeah, you have to find the violations. What are they violating specifically relating to whatever position they're holding?
One of the violations would be, say there's this camp going up the road from me. Actually, I'm going to put you in the page later because you're very, very good with all this stuff. There's a camp going up the road from me, and the superintendent, I told him a year ago that I have pictures of this place. They're not supposed to be building. The camp is supposed to be like a homeless or a woman's shelter or something like that from New York City. I told him that there's sheds there, there's fences there, they're digging a pond, they're doing this, they're doing that over a year ago. And nobody has still been in there to check and see. And I can't show my pictures that I have for a specific reason, but nobody's been in there to check to see if what I'm saying is true. He won't even go in there and look.
Okay, so let me ask you a different question. Let's look at this differently. Where is the zoning committee? Where is the zoning person on this? Because that requires permits.
Yeah, they won't give this particular place a permit. We just went last night for an open development plan, and that got shut down.
But here's what I'm saying.
Okay.
If there's no permit for what they're doing, then that's a violation. That can go back into the zoning.
Okay.
So
I
you
got
file
you.
a zoning violation.
Okay, I got you now. All right.
So you have to work the workings simultaneously.
Okay.
So you find the violation, confirm it's a violation, and right now what you talked about is buildings. Well, that requires permits and zoning. If that's not been approved,
no, it hasn't.
So that's 4-1, right?
Right. Yeah, they won't give
going
them
all the way up to the supervisor.
Right. Yeah, they won't give this particular group a permit because they only have an easement to get to their landlocked property. They don't have enough road frontage to build a shed. but they want to put a multi-billion-dollar complex in there for battered women and their spouses from New York City, right here right in my backyard. You
So
know,
that's probably going to be tied in with other funding that comes from the state level or possibly the federal level. So you've got to do a lot of homework on it and find the paper trail in order to find the error.
Okay.
If there is one.
I'll put you in that group. I'll invite you to the group later. I know you don't have a lot of time. You're very busy, but if you can just kind of search through the group a little bit and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's a terrible situation. The place is an old Army Air Force base. It's full of chemicals, full of toxins, and they want to go in there and dig. And I'm downhill from the place. I have well water. All my neighbor, everybody's worried about this. We've been fighting this for almost 3 years now.
Okay, so you also just brought up a DEA thing, because if it's going to possibly infect the water supply. So, I mean, there's like, my brain is going like, here's one avenue, here's another avenue, here's another avenue.
Right.
When you're so close, you got to break it down and look at each individual piece. Like, this is what it can affect. Who controls that?
Okay.
And you go through those pieces.
Okay. Well, they did a toxicology report, and but they only went 6 feet down, so it came back clean. But we know, I have a toxicology report actually right here that states there's chemicals. I've got pages upon pages. There's chemicals, all over this land. But it's 20 feet down, 18 to 20 feet down. So they want to dig ponds. They want to put in foundations. They're not only going to dig 6 feet, but they only tested 6 feet. They got to dig 12 to 14 feet down to put in a footer, then a foundation, then you build on that,
Right.
They don't care about our health around here. They just care about all this tax money they're going to get from this big billion-dollar industry they're bringing to town here. And none of the very few, I should say, very few of the residents around here want this to happen. 95% of the people don't want it to happen.
Right. And that's the part of making sure that you've done your homework and have all of the information to fire back at them. Like, hey, to do this, to put this in, you would have to go this far. Here is the reports on that. Here's what it says.
Okay.
All right. We only got a few more minutes left. But
hey, I like having Cherie on for the whole half an hour. It just went by so fast,
I know.
She's smart and whips it right out there.
She's full of information. That's why. But hey, so what area are you talking about, real quick, just so people know? Because people, I don't know if people know that we're in different locations. I'm near the Rochester area. And you're near the.
I'm up here in Ava, New York. It's if you want to look on the site's called Restore Forward or Black Woman's Blueprint. They have 2 names. Them are the real names. They want to bring battered women up here from New York City and house them in the middle of the woods and bring the battered women's families up with them in the middle of nowhere here on contaminated land. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. It don't make any sense to me at all.
Right. So, hey, anything else you want to add towards the end here, Cherie?
Well, there was a wide variety of things for everyone. So listen, if you're around Monroe County, May 13th, from 2 to 3 o'clock at the Henrietta Public Library, I am hosting a Frozen themed story hour. And before you all get bent out of shape about this, we will be reading a Brave book. So from the Brave Books Company, please look into them. I promise you it is child friendly and completely child appropriate. Our kids deserve to have something wholesome. It's free. You don't have to register. It should be a really good event. I will be there. Come meet me. If you're in our county, you want to get involved in something that's maybe not as intimidating, come join us at the Monroe County Federated Republican Women. So I also sit on the executive board for that. We would love to have you. We do lots of really great things, lots of different trainings on things. We're involved in many, many things. This Saturday is the citizens audit presentation at the IACC in Monroe County. Next weekend, we have an amazing event on Friday night with Steve Dace with Moms for Liberty and the Frederick Douglass Foundation. So there's a lot of stuff happening. If you want to know more, jump on Fight for Your Family, Monroe County. I put everything out there. I share it all on that page. It's a private group. You do need to answer the questions or I will not put you in the group. You'll just sit in limbo. I'm notorious for that. But yeah, get involved. Whatever way is comfortable for you. Do something, do anything. Just get out there. Start talking to people.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Cherie. Now me and John are going to go down.
I'm out.
We're going to go
Bye,
down.
guys. I'm going to go get the kid from dance.
Bye, Cherie. Nice seeing you again.
You
Going
too.
down the thinking tunnel now.
Yes, down the rabbit hole. We got a few minutes. I really don't have much going on. I'm just trying to fix my truck and build a pheasant pen. But other than that, I don't have much going on, so I could stay on a few minutes.
Yeah, I know. You know what it is, though? It's like after I do the recording, I put it in my my video editor. I cut out the stuff for the live, and that takes a while. And then when I go to upload it to YouTube, that takes a while.
Oh, I know.
You know, so the longer the video, the longer it takes for me to try to do everything in the morning. And I'm trying to get out the door and stuff. It's crazy. But
I hear you. I hear you. So what's going on in your neck of the woods out by Rochester? Anything exciting?
Well, except for the New York Citizens Audit thing going on.
Okay.
With Marley Hornick, and we had the live last night. You couldn't make it to
Yep.
that meeting that you were talking from what you were talking about a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I was at that meeting last night. Yeah.
That was a last minute thing because it's going on this Saturday, and I didn't want to tell Cherie. And she was like, "Oh, you could have put her in my spot." But anyways, I didn't want to do that to her. But
Right.
What I want to bring up is it's kind of wild, right? It's that to make people think, because like what's happening, like with the whole transgender stuff and everything else.
Oh my God.
Right. And I know this probably can go on for a couple hours, but we can't. But the point I want to make is that what happens is things are introduced to people slowly.
Right.
Right. They're introduced slowly. And then once they start feeling that people are starting to get used to it, or they're getting a response from people about certain things, that's when they go in deeper. So a lot of things that happen that we see now actually were probably introduced a couple years back. You know, they slowly introduce things on what their plan is, and then all of a sudden they come out with it. And it's how can I put it? It's like the sheeple being herded. People are being herded in a direction.
Yeah.
So it's like the whole that's for instance like the seatbelt law, right? When we were younger, we never had to wear a seatbelt. Yeah, right? But people, like kids born after the seatbelt, it's like, oh, you gotta wear a seatbelt because that's the law, because they've been ingrained that way. But me myself, I wear a seatbelt because it's safer to wear. But in my mind, I'm thinking the government should not be telling me wear a seatbelt or you're going to get fined. You're going to get a ticket.
Right.
That way. But people are like herded. They're like in a direction, and it's not something that's like overnight. It's like they slowly implement things in, just like the transgender stuff, everything else. That's the point I wanted to make on that it's not an overnight thing. It's something.
Oh, we can talk on that forever. Oh my God.
They've had it planned. They know what they're doing. They put out there. They test the waters is what they do. It's almost like they test the waters. Okay, we're getting a response off of this. We could push it more. Then all of a sudden, but recently within the last couple of years, you're just throwing everything at us.
Yeah, everything got bad in the past couple of years, but like you said, they started bringing it out slowly. 4 or 5 years ago, even before the pandemic, they started bringing these little things out like this. And now it's like a full-blown transgender generation. It's like all over the TV. It's on your cereal box. It's on your Bud Light cans. It's everywhere now. I mean, is there that many mental patients in the world? I mean, I just don't understand. And where have they all been?
I know where they. Well, that's a whole other story right there. But like the thing is, the bottom line is this: hey, you could be transgender. Be transgender. Who cares? Don't
Right.
push it on the kids. Don't push the porn stuff on kids when they're in freaking first, second grade. That's the crazy stuff that people need to start saying, hey, enough's enough. The
Right,
transgender
right.
stuff, like you see a video there with some guy, some transgender, doing like a lap dance with a 10th grade girl who's probably like 15. That's illegal, but they push it out there. Why?
I know. I don't understand that. That boggles my mind. I just don't understand it. Honestly, I really don't understand any of it, to be honest with you. We didn't grow up when we were growing up. We didn't have none of this.
Oh, and I knew gay friends. My half brother's gay. I don't care. Be gay all you want. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. Just
Sure.
don't try to make me do it. I don't care who does what.
Yeah, just don't. It's a personal liberty thing. You do
Right,
your
right.
thing, and that's it. That's it. But it's there's a lot of people in the transgender community saying, no, this ain't right to be pushing this on the kids and doing in the schools and the porno stuff going on in the school books and all that stuff. There's a lot of transgenders that are against it, but the media doesn't talk about them.
Right, right.
People
Oh,
talk-
the media won't talk about that. The media won't talk about that because it's against the media's agenda. There's a lot of transgenders speaking out about men playing in women's sports and stuff like that. They're actually speaking out about it, but you're not going to see it on the television, or you're not going to hear it on the radio. You're going to have to go to Rumble. You're going to have to go to TikTok. You're going to have to go to Twitter. Places like that get out the real news. Oh, Save New York. You can come on Save New York too and get some of the real news. I mean, we don't hold back anything here, but you know, I don't know. I think it's just it's something I'm not really ready to take in all the way yet. I mean, it's still boggling my mind what's going on here. That Obama said it when he was in office, that I've shared it a few times as well, that he's going to make people so confused in the world that they're not going to know what to believe. And I think that's really their agenda here. Nobody knows what to believe. So that puts everybody at everybody's throats. Everybody's arguing. You can't even have a simple disagreement this day and age without having an altercation or losing a friend. You know, it's just, it's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous.
It's the divide and conquer thing. That's a thing forever. The divide and conquer.
That's right. Yep, I agree. Something happened with your volume on my end. I'm not quite sure what, but I'm trying to figure it out.
Is that better?
No, I had a phone call on my PM here, and I don't know what happened.
So, all right, it's been about a half hour now.
Yeah, that's good.
We're good. But so next week you got Joe Pinion coming on.
Oh, good.
Next week I did call that one guy you told me about.
Yeah, yep. I know him. Yep.
Walker, what's his name?
I think so. Yep.
Yeah. And he gave me his number, so I'm gonna call him. I told him I'd call him tomorrow to set him up.
Okay, good.
Yeah, next week with Joe Pinion, that should be good because
Yep. And John Selka, if we can get John on, he's good. You'll like John. He's really good.
Well, I noticed he's got a lot of friends that I'm friends with.
Yeah.
I added him as a friend. Like 23 people he knows. And okay, all right, we're good. Because I won't people if they don't have no friends that I know. You know.
Right.
Like, yeah, there's too many people trying to look to see what's going on.
Yeah, you know, it was certainly good to see Cherie on. She's a firecracker.
She is.
Charles and I have both been to many rallies and events with her. I mean, you've been to more events with her than I have, but I've been to like 10 events with her. And I'll tell you what, she just brightens up a room. She's not afraid to speak out. She's not afraid to get dirty. She's 100% patriot, 100% for the kids, 100% for just doing the right thing, you know, and she's a great person. We got to have her on again.
She is all over the place. She's involved with 6 million different things.
Yeah.
I mean, literally like 6 million different things going on all at
Oh, I know.
Unbelievable. Like even I don't know if you're still with me, but even right now, she was bringing her little one to a dance thing. She was at a dance thing with her little one, and that's when she was doing a live. But anyhow, all right. Did I lose you? I think I lost you, John. All right, we're going to call it a night. And don't forget to come back next Wednesday at 6:30 when we have Joe Pinion on. Oh, you're back.
Okay, sounds good, buddy.
Lost you for a second there. But
Yeah, I'm playing with my phone trying to get your sound back. I can barely hear you on this end.
all right. Yeah, just take the hammer to the phone or something. I don't know.
I'm going to. I'm going to.
All right, everybody. I'm going to upload this on YouTube tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Let's get people to share this stuff out. We're not promoting ourselves. We're promoting information. Promoting information and everything.
Right.
Again, I like to say everything that we talk about does not reflect the opinions of any of the guests that we have on.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Even though some might agree, but what we talk about is totally different. That's why that's why
We'll always be a little different than the rest of them. That's for sure.
Go through the thinking tongue.
I heard that. All right, brother. I got to run.
All right. We'll see everybody later. Don't forget to share. We'll see you later, John.
Share and save New York.
Yes.
Yes. All right. See you later, bud.